Welcome everybody to another edition of ZTV 1990. We're gonna look at the ZTV Sports Edition. I want to just I want to respond to Jamelle Hill, or should I say Mrs. Jamelle Hill, because you might obviously be married, and I want to let you know now. Just starting off the top, this is no beef to Jamelle Hill. It's not. No, this is no beef to this woman. I respect this woman for what she's done in the sports and entertainment world. Um, yeah, she is married. She's married to Ian Wallace. Yes, yeah. So Miss Jamelle Hill, you're married. But I want to tell you this now that I respect everything you did as a black woman in sports. You've been around for years. You know, you've done a stellar job. But this is where you go wrong. And I'm gonna show you why ESPN had to let you go. This is why you and what was it, Michael Smith got fired from ESPN because you're too biased. It's like you making it obvious that Colin Kaepernick or Ness Nitty about to pay you to be on their PR team, just like they pay Spike Lee to do their films. Okay, like he tried to pay Spike Lee to push another documentary. Because I don't see how you could say that the Ravens didn't try to sign him, neither did the Dolphins. There was only one team that brought him for workout, and it's the Raiders. We understand that. You said that the try was a complete and utter sham. NFL teams never sign players that way, and the NFL tried to pull some crap, having them sign a waiver that was completely different than anyone else in the league. But check this out, Mrs. Hill or Mrs. Jamelle. Didn't he sue him? See, Mrs. Jamelle, I'm one of the fans. I'm one of the people that actually do homework. I watch everybody. I am what you call a chess player, on and off the game. Okay. In real life, I'm a real chess player. I watch the entire board. So all right. So basically, he sued the league because he say it was injustice, right? Despite him opting out. When you opt out of your contract, you're telling your team, I quit. So he opted out, but again, he couldn't get signed, whatever. You saying that the Ravens didn't try to sign was basically calling Mr. Ray Lewis a liar. I believe that Ray Lewis really tried to reach out to him. Jim Harbaugh called him in for an interview and all that, Steve Bisciotti. But his girlfriend, Ness Nitty, went and sent that tweet comparing Ray Lewis and Steve Bisciotti to Samuel L. Jackson's character in the Django. That did happen, Mrs. Jamelle. Yeah, Jamelle Hill, that happened. And let me also tell you that when he sued them, he settled out of court for an undisclosed amount of money. He didn't tell nobody. The man went silent for 3 years. So you, First Take, Undisputed, Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless. You had Max Kellerman at the time. Stephen, everybody speaking out on his behalf. Everybody. Yet he himself never spoke. He didn't go on Instagram Live. He didn't go on Twitter back then, now known as X. He didn't say anything. He didn't go on Facebook Live, YouTube. He made no videos. Stay quiet. While going along with Black Lives Matter, associating himself with Black Lives Matter, which we all know that's a scam within itself. So you say all this, right? But again, he did sue him. And despite all that, like I told you, Jay-Z and Charlemagne, Jay-Z works with the NFL. He said we're beyond kneeling, which we was. Because what did kneeling really do? Mrs. Jamelle? Sonia Massey still lost her life. Ahmaud Arbery still lost his life. Tyree Nichols, who got his life taken away by 5 black men in the badge in Memphis, still lost his life. That didn't work. And we still don't see Colin Kaepernick talking with no officers. This man is not talking with no politicians, whether they Republican, Democratic, whichever party they represent. He's not actually doing anything that actually changes laws, changes policies. We don't see that. It's good that he does charitable work. It's good that he wrote a book and all that. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but it's doing nothing in the political field that he was protesting about. Despite the NFL and their owners got together, all 32 of them, and they gave their players money to go towards these issues, these social issues that he was protesting about when he took the knee. But Jamelle, when they gave him a workout, that workout was basically saying that Stephen A. Smith even did a segment on it. They saying this is not a normal this is just a tryout. That's what they tell him. This is a special combine. If you get injured, we're not liable. That's what that contract basically saying. Mrs. Jamelle, I read contracts too. Now, I didn't play football on a professional level that he did, but I played semi-pro. So I done signed at least I signed at least 3 contracts. Okay? I done tried out in college. I done did the whole high school thing. Pop Warner, you name it, I participated. But why would they give him a regular contract when he sued them already? Normally, when you sue your company, Mrs. Jamelle, you don't return back. You don't go back. Like that Nike sign said, it says something with a give up everything. Let me what did that Nike slogan say? Because I do remember him saying he's supposed to be sacrificing something. Let me look this up really quick. Because I'm on. Let me look it up on my phone real quick. Bear with me here. Because this is where he becomes a hypocrite. It says believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. Now, this is Jamelle. When you sacrifice something, that means you don't come back to it. That means you don't go back to it at all. Okay? That's what it means to sacrifice something. See, if he was a real activist, okay, and I'm gonna I want all your fans, I want everybody to hear this video that's under the sound of my voice. If Colin Kaepernick was a true activist, he wouldn't care about trying to go back to the NFL. He wouldn't be trying to play for them no more. Remember, during that workout, too, let me remind everybody, the NFL had the facility at the Atlanta Falcons practice arena. They practice facility. It was over 20 owners that were there. He decides not to show up on time, and he changed it to another high school. He changed it to a high school. He didn't go to the Atlanta Falcons facility. He did what he wanted to do. Mrs. Jamelle, tell everybody the truth about him. There are people like me, we saw everything. We saw his whole action. We saw everything he did. You can't BS me like you do everybody else. I'm not like everybody else. The man did not show up to that arena, to that practice facility where the Falcons play at in Atlanta, Georgia. He went somewhere else that was 30 minutes away, so he pissed off quite a few of them owners. And when the scouts that did wind up showing up, basically wasting their gas and their time, this man gonna have the nerve to say, oh, tell Roger Goodell and the other owners to stop running. That was him while wearing a Kunta Kinte shirt. Mrs. Jamelle, you know how disrespectful that Kunta Kinte shirt was? Especially because us, foundational Black Americans, are no longer slaves? Huh? And plus, Kunta Kinte was a made-up character anyway. That was plagiarized from the book called The Slave. That's not even a real character. Anyway. Yeah, I know the truth about that as well. But that's a video for the other day. That's another topic. But why would you wear a Kunta Kinte shirt? What was he trying to prove? What was he trying to say? So, let me get this straight. He had people believing that the NFL was slavery. Matter of fact, let's get into that, matter of fact. Now, this is after workout. This was in 2021. Remember this? Mrs. Jamelle, huh? He said that the NFL was slavery. The combine was slavery. So, I remind you, I'm the cousin-in-law of Tim Brown, Raiders Hall of Famer Tim Brown. He's married to my cousin Sharice Weaver. They've been married since I was 7 years old back in the 90s. They got like 2 or 3 kids. He resides in Texas. Okay, that was my grandpa's niece on my father's side. I ain't never once heard Tim Brown ever in his own mouth saying that the NFL was slavery, that he's working for a slave master. Despite how bad that Al Davis Raiders teams was, when he was playing, I think they only had that one good year when he was paired up with Jerry Rice, and their quarterback was Rich Gannon in 2002. If I remember mistakenly, with Charles Woodson. That's the only other time they was legitimately good when he was playing for him. But despite all that, my other cousin is Jonathan Hankins. He had to retire. He had career-ending injury. He injured his back. The doctors told him he couldn't play no more after his surgery. Now, luckily, Coach Mike McDonald just took care of him. You know, he actually got a ring because he was technically signed to the team during 2025-26 on a Super Bowl run. So, shouts out to them in the Seattle Seahawks. My cousin Jonathan played for 13 seasons. I got friends from Jordan High School, Long Beach, Jordan. John Timu and John Ross, the second. John Ross got drafted to the Cincinnati Bengals. Then later played for the Green Bay Packers. And John Timu went underdrafted from Washington University to play for the Chicago Bears when John Fox was over there. Okay? I used to go back and watch John Ross's football games during homecoming. Both of them went to Washington. The same school as Penix Jr. that competed against Bo Nix for the last Pac-12 championship a season ago. This man disrespected everybody. Everybody that's ever got drafted. Everybody from Tom Brady on down. Deion Sanders. Barry Sanders. The Juice. O.J. Simpson, God rest his soul. The Steel Curtain. I mean, everybody. Okay? So, you forget this, Mrs. Jamelle Hill. He did this with Ava DuVernay. Thought we forgot. Huh? So, I'm somebody going to come back and fact check you. You mean to tell me the NFL going to let him back? Huh? Huh? Please, ask me that. Everybody, please make that make sense in the chat. And feel free to comment after this video is over. In the comment section, feel free to comment. They did a whole documentary. It was a series, a docu-series, about this man's life growing up. And he called the NFL slavery. But yet he still wants to play. Now we're going to look at something else. Now I'm going to look at an interview he did 6 months prior in the summertime.
Well, Anthony did. If an opportunity presented itself today and they said, we want to bring you in as the backup, would you take that?
Yeah.
You'll take that. If an
opportunity... I know I have to find my way back in. Okay. So, yeah, if I have to come in as a backup, that's fine. But that's not where I'm staying. And when I prove that I'm a starter, I want to be able to step on the field as such.
That's interesting. So, you said the NFL combine was slavery. So that means he wants to go back to being a slave, Mrs. Jamelle. Please make that make sense. And you wonder why these coaches, a lot of these players ain't taking them seriously. Come on, Mrs. Jamelle Hill. Let's tell everybody the real reason why he ain't coming back. I'm pretty sure they told you this already. You're going to try to deny it because you're obviously paid by him to keep defending him. But there are players that don't want this man back in the league. Current players. And let me not forget to mention that Drew Brees. We've had Drew Brees. We had Ben Watson. We got that young man from the brother Josh Norman that played for the Carolina Panthers and the Washington Redskins when they were the Redskins during that era. They're now Commanders. He said that he wasn't blackballed. There have been multiple players that came out and said Kaepernick was not blackballed. And don't even get me started on Eric Reid. Eric Reid got the nerve to be signed by Mike Tepper. And I told everybody prior to that Eric Reid was going to get taken first. Instead of Eric Reid abiding by the rules, just staying quiet, being grateful to Mike Tepper for giving him another chance, and then possibly convincing him to sign Kaepernick to the Panthers, he runs his mouth. Come on, Jamelle Hill. We've seen Eric Reid for weeks saying that the NFL is a slave. It's a white man's league. Right? He's talking about the white man this and the white man that while collecting that white man's paycheck. He said this. Come on, Jamelle. Mrs. Hill, tell everybody the truth. He said this, Mrs. Jamelle. Eric Reid, his homeboy, that also took a knee with him. They both sued the league. Eric Reid got his money too, but was still running his mouth. But he still wants to play. Okay, he wants to play that bad, but what happened with the XFL? That's now the UFL, right? This is owned by Dwayne Johnson, his ex-wife, who happens to be Cuban. Mrs. Jamelle, this league, UFL, is viewed on ESPN. Following the 2025 season, over 50 players from the United Football League signed contracts with the NFL teams with 46 earning spots on 2025 NFL opening day, rosters or practice squads. This follows a strong 2024 pipeline where 80-plus players signed NFL deals, highlighting the UFL's role as a major professional talent pipeline. It's basically the G League. Like the UFL to the NFL is what the G League is to the NBA. There are players that get put on. There are players that get second chance opportunities. Look at that. 46 NFL alumni. That includes my other cousin, Matthew Hankins, from that went to Iowa State from Texas. Shouts out to him. Jim Harbaugh actually gave him a chance. Let me get to Jim Harbaugh in just a few minutes. But 46 NFL alumni earned spots on 2025 NFL opening day. So this was last season. 53-man or practice squad. The top teams are San Antonio Brahmas, the DC Defenders, who won the championship, the last league championship from them. Michigan Panthers and the Birmingham Stallions sent the most players with 9 each. And I was a fan of the St. Louis Battlehawks that was quarterbacked by A.J. McCarron from Alabama, a Nick Saban guy, who was also the backup quarterback for the Bengals when they played against the Steelers in that playoff game one time. Top performers notable 2025 UFL players signed with NFL teams include defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey, tie-in Sal Cannella, and receiver Jacob Sailors, who was not bad at all. Legacy impact following the 2024 season, 80 players from the inaugural UFL season secured NFL contracts. So, Mrs. Jamelle Hill, what are you talking about? Why didn't Kaepernick take the offer that Dwayne Johnson gave him? Huh? Why? It says Dwayne Johnson, Dwayne Johnson still co-owns the entity of that was formerly the XFL, which he bought for the McMahons. In the 2023, the XFL merged with the USFL to form the United Football League, which began to play in 2024. Johnson owns the UFL alongside his business partner, Danny Garcia, Redboard Capital Partners, and Fox Corporation. Why did he not accept the offer, Mrs. Jamelle? Because I'm letting everybody know right now, had he accepted Dwayne Johnson's offer to play for this league, the UFL or the XFL, that would have opened the door for him to get back to the NFL, because then owners and scouts would have saw that he could still play. There have been players in the league that probably would have vouched for him that came over there, which I just described. Okay? So, Mrs. Jamelle, you can't hit me with that BS. Stop capping. Stop lying. Stop lying to your fan base. Stop lying to the public. Matter of fact, I'm going to read you what he did. Y'all gonna see I do actual research. He really did try to offer this man a job. It says Dwayne Johnson, as owner of XFL, confirmed in October 2023 that he and his team met with Colin Kaepernick and his agents to discuss an opportunity for him to play in the league. The offer/meeting, Johnson stated that he had a good meeting with Kaepernick earlier in 2023, aiming to create an opportunity for the free agent quarterback to showcase his skills. Despite the outreach, Johnson expressed doubt that it would lead to a deal. He said he still don't think that happened. That means Kaepernick turned it down. Like he turned down every other offer. Come on now. Let's be honest. He don't really want to play, Jamelle. He's basically acting. He wants to keep playing the victim, keep playing the martyr. Okay? Let's just call it for what it is. And speaking of Jim Harbaugh, he did offer him a coaching job. He offered him a chance to get on a team like he gave my cousin Matthew Hankins, who I saw play 2 seasons ago in 2024. He made the team that season. But let's listen up. And this is according to ABC 7.
After last playing in the NFL, former 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick gets an offer to return to the league, but this time as a coach. Former 49ers coach Jim Harbaugh, who coaches the Chargers now, told USA Today he offered Kaepernick a coaching job on his staff. Harbaugh says Kaepernick was weighing the offer, although Kaepernick says he still wants to play. Kaepernick hasn't played in the league since 2016.
And let me also get this straight too. Because at the end of the day, a job is a job. For all you Kaepernick fans, a job is a job now. But this is the same Colin Kaepernick that when Aaron Rodgers got injured and got hurt, okay, he got hurt right 3 seasons ago in 2023. Okay, he did get hurt. We see him tear his ACL or whatever, or his Achilles. I think it was the Achilles. We see Colin Kaepernick write a letter to Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets, about being a backup or possibly on the practice squad. Yet, we don't hear them ask Magic Johnson, who is part owner of the Washington Commanders. He asked this man about look at this. Why didn't tell Magic Johnson? Huh? Okay, you go ask Woody Johnson, a Caucasian owner, about being a backup of the New York Jets. Why you didn't talk to this man? Huh? Why you didn't talk to Magic? He joins Josh Harris ownership group in 2023 with 4% stake and roughly $242 million as a key investor and advisor. Okay, folks, why you didn't talk to Magic? Mrs. Jamelle, don't you think if he would have talked to Magic, sent the letter to Magic, Magic would have made room for him on that team? Huh? This is Magic that could talk to anybody and convince him to sell and buy anything. He could convince somebody to buy something back from him. Come on now, this is Magic who's a winner. Multi-time NBA champion. WNBA champion as the owner of the Sparks. This man took leadership with the Dodgers, and you see where they are now. The Dodgers 2-time World Series champions under Magic Johnson's management. Why he didn't talk to Magic Johnson? So you had two. Come on, why didn't you talk to another brother, Mrs. Jamelle Hill? So you turned down one brother, Dwayne Johnson, who was half black, by the way. Black and Samoan. His daddy was Rocky Johnson, legendary tag team of the WWF, now WWE. But you didn't even ask this brother here, who he possibly could have made a way for him to be Jaden Daniels' backup. Why, Mrs. Jamelle Hill? Why? This is why I'm making this video, because I got to clear this up. You got to stop lying. Stop lying. Now let's look at Colin Kaepernick's stats, because he's really not better than Alex Smith. Okay? Now, this was the year he got drafted. This was also a season since Mr. Jamelle Hill, you're a 49ers fan. Okay? You're a Niners fan. If you remember correctly, 2011, his rookie year, he was on the bench behind Alex Smith. Alex Smith takes that team to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1994. Since Deion, Steve Young, Jerry Rice, Ken Norton Jr., all those guys, Morton Hanks, all those guys was on that team that was stacked up, right? That was the first time since 94-95 season. They were in an NFC Championship game. But they lost to the Giants because that punt returner decided not to fair catch it. He fumbles. The Giants get a drive by Eli Manning. They kick a field goal. The rest was history.
The April 15th tax deadline is coming, and your max refund is a few steps away.
Sorry about that. Okay, now 2012, he takes him to the Super Bowl. Alex Smith gets hurt. Okay, so we forgive him about the 1,814 yards because he made it work, right? They go to the Super Bowl, but they lose to the Ravens. They lose to Ray Lewis. And he didn't lead that entire game. Now, 2013. Okay, this is not bad stats. Okay? 3,197. That's not bad. You get to your second NFC Championship game, but you lose to the Legion of Boom. And we all saw Richard Sherman had to say to Michael Crabtree in that game. And they go on to blow out the Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning's Denver Broncos at Super Bowl 48. But this is the interesting year, right? 2014. He's better, right? And I had him on my fantasy league that year. He does solid numbers. But this is what I don't understand. Look at his record. Huh? 8-8. Now, I can say this since I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Colin Kaepernick that season was looking like Tony Romo. He did a Tony Romo. Had Jim Harbaugh look like Jason Garrett. For everybody that's a Cowboys fan, you've been watching over the last 20 years, y'all all know that Tony Romo was notorious for going 8-8. Jim Harbaugh was looking like Tony Romo's coach in this season. But for those that watch Jason Garrett and Tony Romo, with DeMarcus Ware and them guys, they went 8-8 like 3 seasons in a row. Me being a Cowboy fan, that was our rough years. Oh, it was terrible. And this is before Dak Prescott came. Now, let's look at the following season. Because he's been on the decline ever since then. Throwing 2 or 3 interceptions a game. Come on, Jamelle. Look at that. 5-11. So you mean to tell me the NFL gonna blackball a quarterback that went from 8-8 to 5-11? Jim Harbaugh leaves. They bring in Tom Sula. The Tom Sula that built that defense, Jamelle Hill, Kaepernick had almost 10 starters went to the Pro Bowl. From Patrick Willis to Deshaun Golson, they had a gang of Pro Bowlers. Damn near almost that entire team, both sides, went to the Pro Bowl. That was a top-tier defensive line, but you go to 5-11. And I don't hear the excuses he had no help. Let's stop saying that. Let's look at 2016. Look at the year he took a knee. 2-14. That's horrible. That's terrible. That's not going to get the job done at all. And he got his spot back by Jim Kelly. Now, that's now 3 different head coaches he had. Mrs. Jamelle Hill. Huh? Look at that. Horrible. I'm sorry, people. 2,241 yards is nothing to a quarterback. That ain't nothing. For a running back, yes, that's something. This is Saquon Barkley type of numbers. For Saquon Barkley and a Shady McCoy, you expect this is what they strive for. To even to Adrian Peterson, for them, Eric Dickerson, this is more of them. But for a quarterback that's getting 15 to 20 yards a throw, like a Tom Brady, a Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, huh? Even Dak Prescott, they get 4,000 to 5,000 yards. Matt Ryan won MVP off of 5,000 yards. Jameis Winston also got 5,000 yards. And by the way, Jamelle Hill, you don't see Jameis Winston trying to take a knee and sit down for the national anthem. The Buccaneers released Jameis Winston so they could bring in Brady's boy Rob Gronkowski, his main tight end for the Patriots. Rob came out of retirement to join Brady in Tampa Bay during the 2020 season to 2021. We all seen that. Jameis Winston was a way better backup than Blaine Gabbert. Jameis Winston had to watch his team, his favorite receiver, Mike Evans, and everybody else on that team, right? Even O.J. Howard from Alabama, his guys, Rojo, all of them, win a championship without him. They didn't even need Rob Gronkowski. They already have 4 other tight ends on depth chart. They gave Brady an offensive line that he didn't have. But Jameis Winston was able to get 5,000 yards. And here this man getting no, I don't want to hear this. They lost too many games. His head was on that protest. His head wasn't on trying to win. And let me also say this too. Now let's look at the 2017 record. Let's look at 2017, 2018. Let's look at Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm finna make a point here, Jamelle Hill, before I end this video. I'm finna make a point. What makes him better than Jimmy Garoppolo? This is the year they traded Jimmy Garoppolo from the Patriots. When Kaepernick struggled, when they was 2-14, this man, during the trade deadline, goes on a run. And they go 6-10. This is Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay? Now let's look at 2018. We're going to look at the whole record. Okay, 2010, yeah, they 4-12. Okay, that was bad. They was bad, but that was a rebuilding year. Let's look at 2019. 13-3. They go to the Super Bowl. So, Mrs. Jamelle Hill. Okay? Jimmy Garoppolo does the same thing Colin Kaepernick did. And again, the 49ers was rebuilding. They was a rebuilding team all that time. Jimmy Garoppolo gave him potential. They go to a Super Bowl just like he did. And he loses. 2019 now. Let's go further than that. Let's see, 2022. Look at that, 13-4. NFC Championship game. Jimmy Garoppolo, even though he lost to the Rams, he lost to Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford had to get through them. 13-4. Now we're going to look at Brock Purdy, your current quarterback. Okay, they go 12-5. If I'm not mistaken, they reach yes, I think they do reach a Super Bowl. Let's see, 2000 was I think it's 2023. Yeah, it's 2024. Let's look at Brock Purdy. What Brock Purdy did. Wasn't that? It was one of these teams. Yeah, I think they go to. Let me see. Yeah, it was 2024. Look at that. That was Brock Purdy, Mrs. Jamelle Hill. 14-6. So, what makes Colin Kaepernick better than Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo? Go ahead. I'll wait. Because I expect you to respond after this. But what makes you better? Come on. Mrs. Jamelle Hill. 49 fans already moved on from Kaepernick. They're not crying over that guy. Brock Purdy lost the Super Bowl just like Jimmy Garoppolo did. So if you ask me, it ain't the team's fault. The team don't suck. And Kyle Shannon was on record saying that he wanted Colin Kaepernick to play. He went down for Colin Kaepernick to still play, but Colin Kaepernick opted out. He didn't want to be there no more because he got mad that he got benched. They wasn't gonna give him an extension of money he wanted, so that's what that was all about. People, y'all gotta say that Colin Kaepernick's a spoiled brat, and that's according to Marcellus Wiley, who's a retired NFL veteran who did his homework on him and investigated him. He grew up with his Caucasian family, Kaepernicks, respectfully, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He grew up just like Russell Wilson did. Mrs. Jamelle Hill, he did not grow up like a Jalen Hurts, a Lamar Jackson, a Jordan Love, a C.J. Stroud. Those players all came from the ghetto at one point in time. He don't know what it's like to struggle. We don't know anything about his adopted parents, his biological parents, but the Kaepernicks, they were well off. They had a nice neighborhood in the suburbs. Oh yeah, y'all do your homework, you'll find out about him. They had plenty of money. He never wanted for nothing. But Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo each took the team to the Super Bowl. Let's look at their stats. I want to see something. Look, Purdy boasts a higher passer rate, 107 versus 103. So, Mrs. Jamelle Hill, like, y'all, you got to start crying over Kaepernick. Because your franchise proved under John Lynch's leadership that they can win championships. They could get to a Super Bowl. I want everybody to see this. Because even Alex Smith had better stats than Kaepernick. And of course, Alex Smith been there longer than him. But Alex Smith could not get his spot back, by the matter of fact. So, Mrs. Jamelle Hill, he took Alex Smith's spot, a white man. And then he traded Alex Smith over to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Alex Smith did make the Chiefs relevant. He did get them to the playoffs a few seasons before Patrick Mahomes then took over. And he turned him into a dynasty. But yeah, look at that. Pass rate, 107. Look at that. Yards per attempt, both rank in top 5. But Purdy frequently ranks higher in this metric. Turnovers and aggression, Purdy and Garoppolo have similar turnover rates. We all know Kaepernick's turnover rating. Playmaking, Purdy is more effective at scrambling, picking up more first downs on the ground, whereas Garoppolo had a quicker time to throw, 2.66 versus 2.84s. Postseason, Purdy has shown higher production in playoffs, for instances, surpassing 300 plus yards. Like all three of those quarterbacks, Mrs. Jamelle Hill, they all had a squad. All of them. All three of them. So I don't want to hear the excuses no more. Y'all need to stop crying over Kaepernick when there's other quarterbacks that's better than him. And by the way, Brock Purdy was a third-string quarterback. When he came in, Mr. Jamelle Hill, Brock Purdy, this man here, who's also a Christian. But see, he don't force his religious views on the locker room like Jaden Ivey did, which I'm agreeing with you. That was a good video, Mrs. Jamelle Hill. Excellent video. But this man here has been on interviews stating that he's a man of God. But he did things quietly. He just prayed and waited his turn. When Brock Purdy came in, he had to beat out Trey Lance. Trey Lance was a top prospect. Trey Lance. They was all talking about Trey Lance. And Jimmy Garoppolo was the current starter. They both get hurt. And now he comes in there. Now, mind you, when he gets to the NFC Championship game against the Eagles, they get blown out, but most of his team was hurt. He got hurt that game, and we seen Christian McCaffrey have to play quarterback. He had to do everything. The receiver, he had to run the ball that one season. But they was in 2 NFC Championship games, 2023 and 2024. So I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear it. I showed you seasons where him and Garoppolo had this team over 13 wins. 13 win seasons. 13, 14 win seasons. Both Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy did the exact same thing Kaepernick did with that team. So the team don't suck. We can't say that. I don't want to hear they don't get no help. Because most of the people that fear Kaepernick don't even play football a day in their life, probably. Most of them. Okay? So before I end this video, look here. Mrs. Jamelle, you did your job as a good journalist. I give you that, but I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You're wrong. Stop lying to the public. This right here doesn't matter no more. I just refuted all of that. All this goes out the window. He screwed himself. Cap screwed Cap. Kaepernick blackballed Kaepernick. And how was Kaepernick even blackballed when they kept bringing him up every year? After he took that knee after 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, they kept talking about him. Now, somebody that's blackballed is Mr. Ray Rice. After he knocked his fiance out in that elevator after a fight they had, he laid hands on his fiance. Even though she didn't press charges in the courtroom, she didn't press charges in that hearing, he still got axed out the league. You don't even hear about him no more. The Ravens though acknowledged Ray Rice as the running back of that Super Bowl. They beat the 49ers. They don't acknowledge him. Ray Rice is completely gone. He's no longer on Madden's no more. You can't even get his Madden Ultimate Team cards no more. He's gone completely. Even Roger Goodell apologized to Kaepernick's fan base. The NFL folks tried to get Kaepernick back in here. He himself don't want to go. Because he's making more money as a martyr, as playing a victim, than going back on the field and have to earn his spot like everybody else. So that's it. Yeah, so this is all lies. She made all this up. But again, Mrs. Jamelle Hill, I still forgive you. I still love you. Like I said, for you being a black woman in sports, like Karen Champion, you held it down for years. So I give you that. You've had quite the career, including political career. But when it comes to Colin Kaepernick, you are completely wrong. You're dead wrong. And every real 49er fan knows the truth already. They've been over Kaepernick. I'm sorry, but why would the NFL want somebody like that back? Remember, he disrespected everybody. Here's another reason why Kaepernick didn't come back on here. Because Kaepernick knows that there's current players that want to knock that man's helmet off. And I mean that figuratively. There are players that want to get down with Colin. He knows this already. That man made too many enemies in the NFL. Coming on, how you going to put out a documentary saying that the NFL combine is slavery, yet you yourself competed in the combine? Like Tom Brady and everybody else. Like, I don't want to hear that. What makes him better than everybody else? Colin Kaepernick is no better, no different, I'm going to be honest. He's no better than every other quarterback that made it to the Super Bowl, lost, and didn't win anything else. Huh? What makes him any better than a Cordell Stewart? Steve Meyer, God rest his soul, R.I.P. from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. What makes him better than Chris Chandler, Rich Gannon? Huh? Jared Goff? I keep going down the line. Come on, we had Joe Burrow off a 97 record go to the Super Bowl. Did an Eli Manning. What makes him better than Joe Burrow? Come on. This is for all Jamelle Hills fans. This is for all you Colin Kaepernick fans. You people that still kiss that man's behind. You still think the NFL is wrong, yet you all continue to watch it. You continue to buy Madden every year. What makes him better than every quarterback that's ever played for the NFL, made it to a Super Bowl and didn't win? Huh? What makes him better than Stan Humphries from the Chargers? They went to a Super Bowl that one year. Neil O'Donnell from the Steelers? Huh? Is he better than Jim Kelly that went to 4 in a row and lost every last one of them? Man, that's the question. No, man, he gotta get back in the line like everybody else. He gotta work like everybody else. Colin Kaepernick wants to be given. He don't want to work hard for it. No, we ain't got time for that. Nobody got time for that clown. Take care.